But on to this week. Do you want to give the people a bit of a rundown of what we're doing this week for the good people at Ladbrokes?
I sure can. So I guess in the spirit of Stradbroke Day being on Saturday, and when you're listening to this, guys, tomorrow, we record on a Thursdays, it's one of the great race days on the calendar. And if you're a Queenslander, it's probably as good as it gets if you want to go to a metro meeting, right?
Quality of racing is top-notch.
Absolutely top-notch. In the winter months, it's pretty dry up here, so beautiful blue skies. The 4X Gold tastes just as good. It's a brilliant day of racing. So in the spirit of that, we thought, why don't we put together a little tiny list of some of the best race days that you can experience as a punter in Australia.
Yes.
So keeping it within our borders, I guess, that being the theme at the moment for the last 18 months or whatever it is, probably 12 months. So for Ladbrokes, special interest article this week, looking at some of the best race days that you can attend across the country.
Beautiful. Well, kick us off, man. What?
Straight into it.
So top 5.
Yeah.
Cross promotion, actually.
Yeah. Give it a little plug. Why
Well,
not?
give me a sec. We do have another podcast called Top 5 Potty, which is at all good podcast stores, to be honest. So search Top 5 Potty. We do something slightly different. We count down our top 5 obscure topics each week. We're 4 episodes deep, where we're about 42 episodes deep here. So we're getting into the groove of things. We're expanding our horizons. But back to it, this top 5 list for Ladbrokes.
So for laddies, coming in at number 5, we've got the Broome Cup. And over in Broome in the Wild Wild West.
Yes.
For people who don't know who it is, it's sort of northern WA, right on the sort of shoreline of the Indian Ocean. And if you haven't seen this track before, red dirt track, literally meters away from the Indian Ocean. So you've got a contrast of the nice aquas and blues and teals coming out of the ocean with the red dirt of the track. So during peak tourist season in Broome, and get up to 45,000 people there. There's usually only about 12 to 14,000 people, I think, who live in Broome. And at the back end of that peak tourist season is Broome Cup. And I tell you what, the racetrack just goes off. Absolutely goes off like a cut snake. And if you want to be a member for the day to get the real experience, there's no suit and tie in a posh setting with caviar and oysters and lobsters. Nah, mate. Chucking you in the tin shed. You want to be a member? Cool, you've got a roof over your head. That's about it. So do yourselves a favour, punters. Check it out. Just YouTube Broome Cup or Broome Racetrack, or even look at Google Images. It truly is super picturesque and definitely one worth getting to one day, I think.
Beautiful. Well, it sounds bloody good. It sounds like 45,000 people there. It sounds like a Broncos game. Cheering on horses.
When your horse wins, it's da 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 da.
Bucks running around the track.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's just beautiful to see.
Piece of poker machines.
Plenty of 4X Gold, I hope. All right, my number 4 was the Warrnambool Cup.
The Bull.
How bloody good is the Bull?
Mate, unreal.
3-day festival of racing where we basically celebrate our steeplechase racing in Australia. Now, I didn't delve into too much research with this, but the grand annual steeplechase is over 5,500 metres. Now, that's approximate because have you watched the grand annual?
Yeah.
It
brutal.
is just... It's everywhere. It's up hills, it's down hills. It's like someone's massive farm backyard, basically, and they've just put up a few jumps.
It makes us some interesting watching, that's for sure.
I say a few jumps, but 33.
Yeah.
So I've heard it's the longest with the most jumps steeplechase in the world. But do your own research. I'm not 100% sure on that. I did read that, but, that could just be some Australian, telltaling or whatever it is.
It could be, mate.
Anyway, why I think this is a brilliant race, because it had one of the most obscure and bizarre instances that I've ever seen on a racetrack. And it was when Banner Strand lost his rider and then he jumped into the crowd, injuring 7 people in the process in the 2011 edition. Now, you'd think, okay, surely old Banner. And there's a picture which I'll actually put up during the video right now. You'll be able to see it. Unbelievable photo. And it's just like people still looking at the racetrack, and this horse is like halfway over this fence, and people have no idea that it's coming. And unbelievably, no one got, yes, 7 people got injured, but there were minor injuries. Incredible. So not only did that happen, but 2 years later, that very same horse won the race.
Redemption arc.
Ultimate redemption arc. So, yeah, if it was a Marvel movie, he'd be like, who would he be?
Not sure about Marvel, but in terms of recent redemption arcs of note that I can remember, James O'Connor.
Yeah.
Pulling on a Reds jersey again.
Well, what's his like mentoring thing that he's a part of?
I've got absolutely no idea.
Yeah. Maybe Bannistrand started that a few years ago.
Yeah, maybe.
But I did have a bit of a read of the trainer post-race, and he said he's just a very slow horse. Never won on the flat. Just loves jumping.
Loves going downhill.
Yeah. So shout out to Bannistrand. But yeah, one of the great pilgrimages of any punter in Australia, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Speaking of pilgrimages, this is a journey. We're going to the Birdsville races. So Birdsville is sort of on the Queensland and South Australia border, just on the edges of the Simpson Desert. Only about 140 people live there. And funnily enough, 170 kilometres away from Birdsville is a town that we should all be familiar with, especially if you're reading the most famous and oldest newspaper in Australia, the Betoota Advocate. Betoota is 170 kilometres away. It's a ghost town, which is absolutely hilarious. So basically every September, around 9,000 people make the trek to Birdsville. And this is in the middle of Australia, so it's a trek and a half. When you get to the track, there's heaps of cars parked outside of it. There's light aircraft parked outside of it. It's a dirt track, literally on the edge of a desert. So I tell you what, it doesn't get much better than that. And this has been going since the late 1800s.
Wow.
So for over 150 years.
So it's probably their biggest tourist event of the year.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
you could assume that.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
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 Wow.
So around 150 years it's been going for. There's about 200 grand worth of prize money to win over 2 days of racing, 13 races. That's a pilgrimage and a half.
Isn't it?
Mm.
You'd have to
Birdsville
drop
races.
into Betoota just to see like the Courier Mail-esque like printing factory.
Yeah. Stop in and watch the Betoota Dolphins go round. I'm sure the Betoota stable has a few horses racing at Birdsville over this carnival. So, yeah, definitely want to check out, I think.
Beautiful. The second one on our top 5 is the Ipswich Cup, the Ippy Cup. I did not realise Ipswich had such a big history in Australian racing, but the Ippy, I don't think it might have amalgamated into the Ipswich Cup, but in 1861, the same year that the Melbourne Cup was first run, they had the Australian Champions Sweepstakes running at Ipswich, which is unbelievable because it actually had the prize money was worth 10 times more than the Melbourne Cup was.
How's that,
at Ipswich.
Yeah.
So Archer, the very first winner of the Melbourne Cup, who won the first 2, he dipped out. He got £100 for winning that, where the winner for the Ippy Sweepstakes got £1,000.
Oh, jeez. Wonder what that would be worth nowadays.
But for anyone that's actually been to the Ippy Cup race day, it is just such a good day out. You've got 30 to 40,000 people going. It's actually more people go to that than they do for Stratty Day because the capacity is bigger. But I've been lucky enough to go a few times with some colleagues I used to work with, and gee, the suit selection. Saw a Pac-Man suit one year. And people just carrying around stubbies wherever they go, which I can appreciate. But there's also like a dance floor in the middle of the racetrack. So like the horses are running around and there's just a bit of doof going on in the middle.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, huge, love it, and special place in my heart, mate, because that's where Prue and I, my lovely partner, blossomed our relationship. So
At the Ipswich racetrack.
yeah, where all good love stories begin, mate.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
How good, yeah. Ippy Cup goes off like a cut snake. How good. Look, before we get to number one, we couldn't have put everything on this list. And
No.
bit of a disclaimer for those listening, and we'll say this in the article, but we didn't include Melbourne Cup because, duh.
Yeah.
Like, Captain Obvious, right? But aside from Melbourne Cup, some other, without question, just banging days to be at the track.
Mm-hmm.
The Cox Plate.
Huge.
Moonee Valley down in Melbourne. Mm-hmm. Will get refurbished quite soon, Moonee Valley. So it will be absolutely unbelievable to attend that in the future.
we need to get down there before they refurbish it because the whole structure of the racetrack's going to change. So the Valley as we know it, it's going to have a 300 to 400 meter straight, where at the moment it has only about 200 meters. I'm going to put another honourable mention in that I've just thought of. Magic Millions Day on the Gold Coast.
Yes. Yeah, I've got that written down as well. So Magic Millions Day on the Gold Coast, have to go for sure. What else have I got here? Autumn Championships, both days.
Yeah,
no brainer.
Everest,
Tons.
Yeah, so
many good metro meetings. But anyways, number one couldn't be anything else for us other than Derby Day at Flemington, the Saturday before Melbourne Cup each year. Just the king of race days.
So there's 5 Group 1s.
Yep. And then the rest of the races are either Group 2 or Group 3.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, just from start to finish.
Quality over quantity. There's not 10. They don't need 10. They have 9 of the best quality horses and races going around.
It's absolutely stacked. And for those of you who haven't been to Flemington, it's just, it takes your breath away when you first walk in. When it's a lovely day and the track's nice and green, you walk in through the gates, you fang a left, you see the winning post, and it's just picturesque, you know. People, it's Melbourne, so there's little picnic blankets around the place, there's little umbrellas, you got people having champagne with cheese boards and stuff like that. And there's just something about being at the home of the Melbourne Cup during the Melbourne Cup Carnival for a racing enthusiast, the best day of the year.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And you see Richo of Channel 7 and Racing.com fame just glistening.
Oh, yeah.
In his element.
You see him, he's getting with the punters. He's saying, you know, what do you like today? And hopefully you're giving him a good answer back, as we haven't done before. But one of our fondest memories as punters, probably our fondest memory as punters, is being trackside in 2017 with all the crew winning the quaddie.
Yeah, that was
a juicy quaddie too.
All time. And we were lucky enough to back it up a couple of years later. And just before the last race, it was pissing down the entire day. But just before the last race, the heavens opened up. I had winner all day. And my best of the day was coming in. And Tofane just absolutely blew Pippi away and won us the quaddie again at the same. I think actually, now that I think about it, that was the last time we won the quaddie.
Probably. It's been a long time. I was very happy with you that day because I was on Tofane too. I was tossing up between Tofane and I can't remember what else, but
it would have been Pippi.
Probably.
Yeah.
Went with Tofane.
Anyway.
So definitely a must. Get to Derby Day. Punters, that's our number one on the list for Ladbroke Special Interest.
Yeah, so if you want to read it, it'll be in the link in our bio, but also you can just Google Ladbroke's blog and head to their special interest section and have a read there. But yeah,